Hey guys, Fire Mike here, back with another video. Today we're going to be going through the best Jiu-Jitsu artists in the UFC. It's going to be similar to the boxing top 5 list, where it's how they incorporate their Jiu-Jitsu into MMA, not just how they would stack up against other Jiu-Jitsu players in a Jiu-Jitsu tournament. I also wanted to pick BJJ-based grapplers, not just like a wrestler with good subs. And I'm also favouring people who transition mainly in BJJ type scrambles, not wrestling type scrambles. So jumping straight into it, we've got number 5, Paul Craig. He literally has to be on this list. Much like the Sean Strickland in the boxing list, he kind of has to be here because he got to the top with a body kick and amazing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's got 4 types of subs in the UFC and 5 outside of the UFC, but he's sort of a specialist with a couple of his subs, and mainly being a submission guy off his back, which we really don't see anymore. If you see all of the pictures on screen here, all of those subs were on his back, which is really impressive. It's super uncommon, especially for these heavier weight classes, to get these subs off your back. He's defeated the likes of Jamal Hill, Magomed Ankalaev, and Nikita Krylov, all by submission, and all within them sort of like prime-ish years, maybe a little bit before their primes, but still, they're 3 amazing wins and 3 top 10 light heavyweight wins currently. So that's really impressive. And all of them were done, I believe, off his back, which is even more impressive. He has 13 wins by sub. And overall, he's just an amazing jiu-jitsu artist. So moving on from Paul Craig, though, we've got Brendan Allen. I was pretty close to putting him below Paul Craig, but having subbed Paul Craig, it's kind of difficult to put him there. He's a nasty jiu-jitsu specialist. He's a very, very difficult guy to face on the ground. He has really good scramble ability, and his BJJ transitions are beautiful. He's not as versatile, though, of a sub guy as some of these other guys, but he's surgical with his back takes. He's always on the back. He's a good backpack. He's sort of like he's a less controlling Aljamain Sterling. He's got only 2 different types of subs in the UFC and only 4 out, but being such a specialist on the rear naked choke on the back, he just has to be on the list. He's got 6 rear naked choke wins and 12 in the UFC and 12 across his entire career, it just shows the level of specialist that he is for this. He's not just higher. The only reason that I can't put him higher, though, is just because his grappling IQ sometimes does fail him, and a lot of the times, like you see in the Nasruddin and Mavov fight, or the Anthony Hernandez fight, where he sort of rushes positions and ends up losing them. But he still loses positions, but he still deserves to be on the list because he does just get so many people out by a rear naked choke. And he always seems to find a way to make it onto your back, and all of these transitions, he doesn't really lose too badly on the ground, or if at all on the ground. He only really loses a few times positionally against people who are better wrestlers than him. But moving on to number 3, we've got the one and only Brian T-City Ortega. Some may have had him a little bit lower. He does have a little bit less variety on his subs, but he's got elite transitions on bottom. And much like Brendan Allen, he is a specialist in the submissions that he uses, so he's an amazing guillotine guy, and his triangles are absolutely second to none. When he's on bottom and he starts like actually setting up these positions, he must feel like a snake. Like, you can see it. He doesn't look like such a strong guy, especially in this photo. But as soon as he starts to wrap people up, you can see the fear in their eyes, and you can see the difficulty that they have with dealing with him on the ground. The other thing about Brian Ortega is that not only on top, like, I don't think Brendan Allen's an amazing bottom grappler, but Brian Ortega, bottom or top, no matter what, you're always in danger. Even when you're pounding his face in on bottom, like against Volkanovski in that 3rd round, he was getting beaten terribly, but he could just still snap up those submissions. Obviously, he didn't get him out of there, but being able to even lock up those types of subs on someone as good as Volk is incredible. Like, we didn't see Makhachev get that close to submissions against Volk, which is, it's just incredible. And T-City is just like sort of a different type of grappler. He really does favour his guillotine and triangle, but he forces you into those positions to get that, and a lot of the times he does get like rocked and dropped, or not really dropped, but rocked and then ends up on the ground. But even in those positions, he ends up subbing people. I remember at the Renato Moicano fight, he was getting schooled the whole time, and then just pulls a sub out of nowhere. So I do believe he does have to be on that list for that reason. But moving on, we've got the great Gerald Meerschaert, GM3. He is a crafty little motherfucker with his submissions. He's really difficult with them. He's a bit like Paul Craig in his submissions, but he does also like being on top a little bit more. I think on this list he's got the most variety of subs in the UFC, being an anaconda, armbar, rear naked choke, guillotine, face crank, and an arm triangle. And you can tell, even on the screen, you can see bottom left here, you can see Edmund Shabazian in, I believe it was Edmund's, the fight before last for both of them. Edmund, as soon as that arm triangle got wrapped up, his face just looked pained. You can tell that Meerschaert's got a vice grip of a choke. Like, anytime he seems to lock in these submissions, he gets either close to finishing it, or he does just finish the submission. He's a very crafty guy. He's very difficult to finish on the ground, and he's one of these guys that you can tell will go down as one of the best submission artists of all time. The other thing, when he gets dominant position, he's really good at keeping control, and he's really good at finishing those positions. And much like Paul Craig, if you do make an error with GM3 on top of you, he does just capitalize on that, and he will take you out very quickly with it. Like, you can't make errors against this guy, otherwise he'll literally put you to sleep. So he definitely has to be on the list, and he always seems to be losing the fight in every aspect and then somehow pull the submission off. So I think just that level of craftiness has me put him in number 2. But moving up to number 1, we all know who this is going to be. Charles Oliveira. Both his bottom and top game are literally next to none for Jiu-Jitsu scrambles and submissions. He's got the most sub wins in the UFC, and 6 different types in the UFC, being like a triangle armbar, rear naked choke, calf slicer, anaconda, normal triangle, and a guillotine. He's got 21 career submissions, and he's so creative off his back that most people don't even get down there with him. Like, you watch with the Poirier fight or the Gaethje fight, they just didn't take him there. They knew that they would get subbed off their back, off Charlie Olive's being on his back. And you can see on the top right, you can see him absolutely trying to snap Tony Ferguson's arm, or actually in the middle of the screen on the left, he's trying to put him in a triangle. He's just so creative. He moves on to submissions very easily and quickly. And he'll know that if he hasn't got a submission, he'll just move to the next one. He'll move to the next one. And as you change where your weight is positioned or where you're moving, he just changes submissions. He's so good transitioning through his submissions. The other thing about him is that he's super surgical when you're trying to get up. So he'll almost try and let you get up just so he can take the back. So he'll like allow you to get up to your feet, make it to your hands and knees, and then instantly will make his way to the back, or he'll make his way to a anaconda choke, or he'll make his way to a Bravo choke. Like, no matter what, he knows what's coming up next. He's got a real like step-by-step pattern with his jiu-jitsu, and only the elite of the elite have been able to figure that out, and that usually they've figured that out through wrestling transitions. You don't see people just defeat him in BJJ straight up, or they'll rock him and then beat him, or they just won't beat him like Arman Sarukian, and it'll be like a basically even fight. The other thing about him is that he's got 3 subs of the nights, which is pretty rare, and he just is such a difficult grappler to face. Like, you don't know what submission he's going to be trying next. You don't know if he's going to be rolling for a leg, or he's going for a rear naked, or he's going to jump on the back. Like, if there's something that can be done, Oliveira will attempt it. So it's a no-brainer to throw him on the top of the Jiu-Jitsu tier list. And I'll finish that one there. But let me know if there's any other top 5 lists that you wanted. And thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of my top 5, or if you'd slide anyone else in. I have a feeling that some people might put Paddy Pimblett in. I will say he was an honourable mention for me, but I think he has to prove it 1 or 2 more times just for me to actually put him on the list, and I would only slot him into a number 5 then. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of the video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.